Welcome back to CarWale. I'm Bilal and this is the first of the 10-part video series from our 2023 CarWale Off-Road Day. And like every year, we have taken 6 capable off-roaders and we just haven't had fun with them. We have also subjected them to some very technical tests. All these technical off-road tests are in our mega video, the link to which is somewhere on your screen or in the description down below. But in this video, I'll be giving you my 2 pence on this all-new Maruti Suzuki Jimny. So let's begin. In the big leagues of the indestructible Hilux, the tech-laden Gloucester, the mighty Defender and even the formidable G-Wagon, the Jimny here is the most uncomplicated, simple yet a capable 4x4. And if you ask me, I had chosen the Jimny because it's so simple and mechanical and it is still yet more capable than some of the off-roaders we have here. And given its tiny dimension, I think it can also outdo some of the off-roaders we have got here. Now, honestly, between you and I am not a 4x4 guy. But I have had my share of off-roading experience in the last 7 years of my professional experience. And with the modern technology, I repeatedly say that if you are half as intelligent as the car will take care of the rest. But the Jimny is old school fun. It doesn't have a lot of horsepower to play with, just over 100 bhp and around 130 Newton meter. But it has 2 advantages, lightweight and tiny dimensions in its arsenal. Many would wish that there was a diesel engine in the Jimny though, but the K15 petrol engine here is tuned for taking the tougher terrains equally well. And if you do find yourself taking a tougher terrains in a proper 4x4, a good engine oil like the Gulf Formula SUV would definitely go a long way in extending the life of your 4x4. As it turns out, the Jimny was quite impressive on the acceleration test. It did an impressive 4.50 seconds, equaling the Defender, a 300 bhp mammoth that weighs in over 2 to 2.5 tons. It was quick off the line and the rutted surface proved no problem to the Jimny. It was third fastest after the 2 big giants we had this year, the Glandon Wagon and the Defender. And then once I aligned the Jimny at the top of the descent with the 4 high engage and I began the descent, it felt like the system took a few moments to realize it was going downhill and needed to engage the hill descent system. But once it did that, it started braking and holding the speed down to as low as 5 km/h. And since the initial bit took time, despite holding a low speed and the lightweight, the Jimny came down rather quickly in 15 seconds. Now assume that the Jimny would come back with 400 ml of the 600 ml of water given in the beaker. But having walked the track and the undulation and the uneven surfaces that I saw, I thought went going to be a big task for the Jimny's superb suspension setup. And as it turned out, I was pretty close to the mark. The Jimny came back with 380 ml of water left in the beaker. Most of the water was lost on the initial acceleration and a big bump, which was taken rather too enthusiastically by Vikrant. My first run in a slalom test turned out to be slightly embarrassing actually. So I carried slightly higher speed off the line and when it was time to turn, I was carrying slightly more speed and then I realized that the steering of the Jimny is not as quick or light or very friendly, and I ran quite wide and missed the second cone by a huge margin. But then in the second run, I carried the right pace and had to wrestle my way through the cones. The small dimensions did help and it was easy to keep it tight around the corners. And yes, it was second quickest against the clock, but only second to the G-Wagon. The Jimny steering could do with a little lightness, a little more quickness, and yes, a lot more user friendliness. Instantly, the Jimny had an advantage in the time lap across the trail track with its tiny dimension. but all was lost because of its intrusive ESP. Sensing a slide, since we did the lap time in a rear wheel drive, it didn't allow to power out of the corners. It also struggled exiting the slush pit. The ESP remained off on all cars but the Jimny, which in turn ruined its time, and it came dead last in this test, breaching the 1 minute mark. The Jimny is one of the few cars with a lot of scope of modification. Not necessarily all of these mods are helpful for off-roading, but when you are looking to go overlanding in the Jimny, you can start with the tires first. It might be the only mod you require, changing from the current highway terrain tires to the all-terrain tires. But if you still want to become an off-road god, there are many aftermarket accessories that you can choose from. The Jimny then proved to be a mountain goat amongst the elephants. It impressed us more if there were still any doubts in our head about its capabilities. It might be small, but its no-fuss mechanical nature helped it finish third in our overall test behind the two cars with a huge price tags. Also, it still is the most affordable true blue 4x4 your money can buy today that can still hold its own in a company of all-time greats. A future classic indeed. That's all on the Jimny from the 4th edition of the CarWale Off-Road Day. But there are more videos coming your way from this edition. So subscribe to the CarWale channel and also hit that bell icon so that you can be notified when we upload those videos. That's all from me in this video. This is Bilal signing off. Until next time.